Hello? Hello? Okay, so I have now figured out that my audio functions. So I have now figured out that my audio functions. Which is good because it means that I can actually speak to you about the plan that I have today. Yes. So my plan was to talk about curse, which is why I have Arthur pulled up on my what's it called? On my thingy here, screen. This will be a whole mess. Um, breathing in, breathing out. This audio is really bad, I think, because I just kind of stole the thingy of my mom. I think the audio should work. I think everything should be fine. Yep. Should all work out just 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 fine. Yep. I'm now going to check, sorry for all the silence, I'm now going to check if it all actually works and the audio isn't incredibly cursed. How I'm going to do that? Oh, apparently I still have Twitch installed on my phone, but I can't find it, so I'm guessing I don't actually have it installed on my phone. Yes, what I'm going to do is go to Twitch on my phone and check if everything works or if my audio is cursed, because on my audio here it is very much cursed and I don't really want that. Yes, so that's what I'm going to do now. And if that works, then we can really get started. So is there any audio? Yes, I can hear myself. That's that's cursed. Okay, so audio is all good. Now, back to my point. Ooh, that was loud. Okay, back to my point. Today I want to speak about Merlin and Cursed character design. That's why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. Since nobody's watching anyway, I can be as cursed as I want to be. Haha, pun intended. Not at all. I'm a mess. I don't like doing this. Yes, I already have something here because I attempted to talk about it, and then I figured out that the recording didn't work when I was talking about it via recording. So I'm doing it live to hopefully navigate that that doesn't work. Yes. No, I lost my faden. I'm German. I will slip into German. If anybody watches, they're probably German too, so I hope nobody minds. Um, why I want to speak about Cursed? Because I'm rewatching it, and rewatching it always is cursed. So, character design. I want to speak about the two most grievous offenses in the show. There's so many. Everything is just so bad. But Merlin. I have this little thing here. I will explain why. It says king. It says merchant. I deleted that. You don't have to read that. And it says beggar. Because beggars can't be choosers. Yes, this is a scale because I want to compare this dude with this dude. This dude is Arthur. He's our author of this show, this modern retelling, which is fine, which is good. I like him. I think he's pretty. This is Merlin, the magician that we all know and love. Yeah, we love him, don't we? Don't we love Merlin? Doesn't he look like a magician? Just saying. Oh, this was my interpretation of his staff the last time. And because I accidentally drew it all on the background layer with the picture on it, I can't delete it, so it's just staying here. But it's fine because it's for visual representation. Okay, let's break down Merlin first, and then let's break down Arthur, and then let's compare, and then do the other thing. Yes, exactly. This is going great. We have... Can I do it? Yes, I can. I'm just stupid. I want to pull it up a little more to kind of very, very crudely draw all the pieces of Merlin's design, because we can't see all of it in this very good drawing. Picture. I'm doing a picture because I don't feel like doing a full redesign, but I still want to talk about him. So, okay, he's bald. This represents that he's bald. I need to do this a little bit smaller. He has a beard. This is his beard. This is a beard. This is his first character design aspect. And he's bald, which is technically his second character design aspect. He has a coat. This is his coat. His coat has 2 layers. This is the representation of the 2 layers. One of them is blue, which is why I'm going to make that blue. This is, I mean, it's kind of blue. Do I have to negate character criticism that I put in the one attempt that absolutely failed because the recording stopped after 6 minutes of me talking about it, which brought me nowhere, by the way. So I'm doing it again. And the outer layer, which I'm also going to draw in, is brown, because it's leather. I have a lot of thoughts about how much leather is used in this show. This is leather. Okay. 2 layers, which is... it's good. Yeah. This is technically speaking his third character design aspect. He also has rings. He has in total 4 rings as far as I can tell. I can show them here. He has this ring, this ring, this ring, and this ring. He might have a 5th one, but that doesn't really matter, so we're not going to go into detail. So 4 rings, which is technically 4th aspect. I'm just naming it to keep them all track. It doesn't really matter because I think his design is pretty lackluster. He then has a shirt that apparently doesn't close all the way and only closes here. I have a lot of thoughts about this shirt, by the way. Then he has a belt, which is also made out of leather, which is also something I would like to talk about. Then we have pants. I'm going to make them small because I don't have any space anymore. Can I get a better color for this? No, I can't. It's supposed to be brown. Let's scoot it into the brown section of this. I'm not listening to music and it's infuriating me. I hate working alone, but I don't want to figure out copyright and all that stuff, so I'm just going to do it like this. Then he does have shoes. I'm just going to... I'm an artist. Never forget I'm an artist. This is a choice. I can actually draw shoes. I would prove it. I can prove it. I can definitely prove it. I know how to draw shoes. I'm not going to prove it. Okay, so we have... this is his outfit. Let's write outfit. You can't read that, but that's just for me. This is his outfit. His station is magician, specifically druid, and I'm watching myself and nobody else. That's fine. That's okay. This is basically what I intended. Not for real, it's okay. I'm not vying for views, I just want to get my thoughts out here, so I don't really care. Plus, this is my first stream, and it's incredibly messy, so I wouldn't actually want anybody to watch it, even though I just invited everybody on my Instagram to watch it, with like 30 people who all probably don't have time to watch me ramble about a show they haven't watched. Oh yeah, if you haven't watched the show, don't. And if you have, don't. I mean, okay, that's harsh. It does have very good aspects. It's just not on a character design aspect, not on a character design level. I think on a character design level it lacks hella, but okay. Anyways, what I meant to say, this is also supposed to be a beige kind of color, so I'm just going to uglily draw that in. This is not a good representation of my artistic skills, but it's whatever. Okay, let's go with this one first. A second. Let's do the same thing. Pull it out here. I have so many thoughts about this guy. He has a gambeson, I think is what this is supposed to be. A gambeson is a historical kind of piece of armor that didn't give you a lot of protection, but it did give you some sort of padding. I'm not going to go into detail. I leave that for later. He has a belt. I'm getting lazier, I know. My apologies. He has pants that are also brown. I'm also going to just do them like this because they're very modern. They're not at all historically accurate. This is supposed to be set in around the 11th century. He has a belt, he has pants, he probably has shoes that are also brown. Let's be real. And they're probably boots, because, you know, he's a fighter. And he has a sword. The sword will also be brown because it's in a scabbard that is brown. So we have a brown scabbard, we have a brown sword, we have a little bit of gray on the pommel and the hilt, but now that's also the hilt. This is the hilt, this is the guard. The guard is gray, the pommel is gray, the hilt is brown, and the scabbard is also brown. Can you see my issue? Can you already see my issue that I have with this boy? This is not the accurate brown. This will not, none of it will be the accurate brown. It doesn't really matter because this drawing fucking sucks, but it's okay. It gets across what I need it to get across. And that is that this design is incredibly lackluster. Now, let's get back to Merlin, where we have a lot of things. If you didn't know who Merlin was, so let's forget he's Merlin. Let's forget he's Merlin. He's not Merlin. You can't see that. He's not Merlin. He's not anything. He has a staff. He looks like this. Incredibly clean pants for the fact that he's been running around, by the way, but whatever. I didn't write down that he's Arthur, but, you know, just forget he's Arthur. He's just a dude, like he looks. He's just a dude. He's just a dude. Now we get to this scale. This scale basically gives us the triangle that is medieval society, where we have the king and his vassals. We have the other royals and merchants and stuff like that, and then you have the Bauern. Farmers. You have the farmers. Everybody who makes you the stuff that you produce, that you eat, and makes your fucking clothes and all that stuff. They're not all farmers, but, you know. On a scale of this, where would you, mental gymnastics, where would you put Merlin as you see him right now? Because I, personally, would put him somewhere down here. If I looked at him and I didn't know who he was, I would think that he is, okay, maybe not a beggar, but very close to being one. Probably used to be somewhere up here, but fell deeply, just very deeply. And if I look at this guy, okay, he has a sword. He wears leather. I have so much to say about this leather thing. He doesn't wear a shirt and he wears brown pants, so I would put him probably above a merchant, probably a knight, because he does have a sword that looks quite expensive, I guess, but he doesn't have much more, so he's like a knight. If you want to go that far, if you want to give him that credit, okay. The problem is he is a sellsword, which I guess he doesn't wear a shirt, so I guess you could say it. So he's like somewhere here, and he is somewhere here on the scale that I created, where I put him somewhere here. He, in the show, in case you haven't watched it, if you do know, I'm just repeating it, is literally the advisor of the king. So the king is all the way up here, and he's the advisor, so he's just down here. He's also immortal in this show. Doesn't age, has been alive for centuries, and is a druid. If I hadn't told you any of that, would you actually see that from this coat and these 4 rings and this shirt and this belt and these pants and then presumably his shoes? Because I sure as hell wouldn't have guessed that if it hadn't been told to me by the show. And that's why I'm so upset about it. That's why I made this entire goddamn screen, which is... it's not going great, but whatever. And if you look at him, he's a sellsword, so he's not a knight. Wouldn't have pegged him as such, to be honest. I don't know historical anything. I mean, I do know a little bit, but not that much. But that's my problem. This outfit is my entire sole problem with this entire show. I hate it so much, because where is his shirt? Why isn't he wearing a shirt? I'm going to pull up some pictures that tells me he knows what a shirt is, and he knows that they exist. And that is, on the one hand, this one. I'm going to pull it up in a second. And then a second one. First this. Pretty one, yeah. And then this. So evidently he knows what a shirt is, and also he owns a shirt. This one seems to be cleaner. I mean, in the show, this is the gambeson of his late cousin, and presumably the shirt of his late cousin. This is his own, and this somehow actually tells you a little bit of a story. I still don't like that it's leather, but whatever. But it does tell you a little bit of a story, because here's some discoloration going on. The belt here, you can see that it's ripped and all that, so it's not in very good condition. He's not in very good condition. Whatever the fuck this is exists. But here you can see that he probably used to have money because it's embroidered and stuff like that. I have no idea what this is. Okay. But he has a horse, so technically he should have enough money to clothe himself, but we're not going to speak about that. It's an old horse. He got it when he started money. Let's say it like that. And here he has gloves, which... his fingernails are incredibly clean. Anyways, all of this tells a story. Here, he looks like a proper knight. I actually don't mind the double belting. Here he looks like a sellsword. Here, even though we canonically know all these outfits are before the one that we see here, here he just looks like some guy. Some guy who can't afford a shirt. This is the dramatic silence, so that you can see how ridiculous this is. From this, in this, when he wears this in the show, he's now part of the resistance, or at least he tries to be, but people aren't happy because he's a human, so he actively was involved with their suffering. I'm doing this for a reason, don't mind me. He presumably got this shirt from somebody, and I really wonder who gave him that, because before that, if I'm not sorely mistaken, he just wore this. Oh wow, I actually pulled up that photo earlier and just forgot about it. He wore this. He actually wore, yep, boots and pants that I can't really say anything about. So we know that he owns this, and we also know that he owns this, We canonically know that he owns t-shirts or shirts, but he doesn't wear them. Why doesn't he wear them? And this is my second problem. Why, in the ever-loving fuck, does he wear pure leather on his pure skin? I don't know about you, but leather isn't the most flexible fabric, because it's literal dead skin that somebody, like, made thin enough and, like, durable enough to wear, which is kind of weird to think about. So I'm zooming in because I really want to talk about this. This looks like pain. You have all of these wrinkles, all of these folds, which means that here is a point of contention, and I think this is just because it's leather and yeah. But it's folds everywhere, which tells me that here is probably going to be a point where it's extremely uncomfortable because it's just pure leather digging into this vulnerable point of your arm. I know that there's a word for it, but I'm too lazy to search it up and I don't know it in English. Here, the same thing. You have this historically accurate kind of combination or combining of the shirt with the sleeve. They did it so that in summer they could just pull it apart and wear this part without having to wear this part in the heat. So that's all fine and dandy, but all these kind of... What's neat in English? Seams. Open seams. These are open seams, I think. These are going to dig into your armpit because there's nothing beneath it. You can literally see a skin here. There's nothing beneath it that kind of protects you from it. Oh, streaming is so nice. I can ramble on and nobody's here to stop me. I hope. God, I hope there's nobody there to stop me. Is there somebody here to stop me? No. Whew. Okay, good. Yes. So all of this on his bare skin, and we can see that it offers nothing. It doesn't even offer him heat, because all of this is open, which means that it will, like, just not give you any protection from, like, wind. So it won't actually make you warm in winter, and presumably this is summer, which means that he's wearing leather in summer, and he has a little bit of air conditioning, I guess, in this part, because he's not wearing a shirt, even though that's a stupid idea. But it's summer, and he's wearing leather, which tells me one thing. This dude is hot. He's not doing well. Why? Because leather is literal animal skin that you put onto your body, and in summer, if you wear two skins, it's warm. It's going to be warm. That was my rant about the shirt. Now, my second rant about the outfit in general. And that is that it's plain as all hell. It tells you nothing. It neither connects you to the fact that he owns this pretty rich kind of gown, and the fact that he used to be this. He's both of these people, which is fine to do. It's completely fine to do that. But he's not given any interest in this outfit. If we look at it, he's presumably a used to be nobility knight kind of dude, but if we look at the character design, just color-wise, we have this brown of the tunic. Let's just call it tunic, it's not a gambeson. You've got this brown of his skin. This is not an accurate depiction of his skin tone. You've got this dark brownish black from his hair. You've got this brown from his sword, this brownish gray. Somewhere more here, I think, of the pommel and the kind of bridge here, or guard, I think it's called. Then you have this brown of the scabbard, and then you have this brown of his pants. This is all brown. He looks like he's a tree, because all of it is brown. He could fucking blend in with the tree back there. And even this tree, if you look at this tree, I can't delete this because it's on the background layer. If you look at... Sorry. If you look at this tree here in the background, you've got the green of the leaves, the brown of the bark, and then this lighter green and lighter... Yeah, can I get at it? This lighter brown of this whatever squiggly thing it is. You've already got more colors in one tree than you have in your main, like, secondary protagonist. Tell me why. I just want to know why. Here he has these little braids, if you can see them. I can zoom in and show you. He has very pretty-eyed little boy. Anyway, here he has these 3 braids, which add some sort of interest to his... Oh, shit. To his absolutely incredibly stupid hair, not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I know I hate on his hair, but I really hate his hair. I wish they would have put more effort into actually giving him a nice hairstyle, because, like, look at this pretty boy, and then these sad little whiskers of hair. Like, what is this? And it's just one. And then there's a second one, and then the rest is just open. Why? Why not give him a cohesive hairstyle? Anyway, in different scenes you can kind of see that there's a blue ribbon braided in between them. So you've got all these browns that I deleted because I got upset. All these browns, and then you have like 1 drop of blue. Now, in character design, usually your character should be divided up into basically this. Like 3 colors, 3 main colors, plus black and white I think is also okay. This is your main color. This would be the brown of his shirt. Technically he should have a secondary color. Oh, I know this guy. He comes in a... Oh, shit. I did a bad thing. Is it going to crash? W and E are very close together, and it's never a good idea. This is going to take a while. Shit. Okay, listen. My laptop and Photoshop don't get along, so it's always a point of contention. Oof. Yeah, this is not good. Will it crash? Let's see. Will it crash? I can still talk about the I think 60-30. No, not 60-30. What was it? 50-30-20 rule or something like that. Or maybe 60-30-10. Yeah, I think it's 60-30-10. That's a rule that you can keep in mind in character development, and what I mean is character design development, that you have one main color, as the brown that I just tried to sketch in before my Photoshop decided to crash after I did a bad thing. I tried to go for eraser on the shortcuts, but I messed it up. My apologies. 30 is this part here, and 10 is this part here. This would be the black of his hair, and then you could put the black on his belt or all that stuff. Now it's all just brown. Oh gosh, will I have to end Photoshop? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to close it. It is thoroughly crashed. Doesn't matter, it's okay. We can deal with this. We can deal with this. It happens. A lot. Only in Photoshop. Where's Photoshop? Here you go. Yes, let's just end that. Yay! So, all the things that we did are now officially lost. We love to see it. Yeah, Photoshop kind of hates my laptop. Good that nobody's watching, to be honest. Am I talking to myself? I kind of am. That's okay. We're just waiting now. I hope there's no incriminating evidence of my... Ooh! Yay! Recovered. That's great. We didn't lose anything. That's amazing. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, it's still loading though. Okay. Ah, we're back. We're back alive and kicking. We did lose a little bit. Can I continue? Photoshop? Is that possible? Yes. Okay, we're back. We're back on track. Yes. We have this. Ooh, this is not nice. I don't enjoy this. Let's put it into these kind of squares. Okay. So logically, if we looked at good character design, you would have 60% one color, 30% different color, and then 10% a third color. Am I good at this? Can we check if I'm good at this? I will expose myself because I'm not that good at it. You see here, okay, I did 1, 2, 3 main colors, and then brown, which is a fourth additional color. And if we're being honest, it doesn't quite follow that rule. It's kind of more evenly distributed. I mean, this kind of does has a pop. Here I did it better, and here I did it a little better too. Do I like this most, even though it's very busy? Yes, I do. Let's just not talk about it. These are my designs for High Onion Spice that I did on my YouTube channel and then abandoned. Yeah, I also always forget to film. So I'm not perfect at it, but I can still talk about it because that's what I do. I like talking about things even though I'm not good at them. Also, by criticizing, we can learn. Yes, always remember that. By criticizing, you can learn as much as by doing it yourself. Because if you can criticize what's wrong, you can take a step back and look at your own stuff and decide if you're good or if you should also just kind of cry in a corner and call yourself garbage. Yes, so this is what we should be doing. This is what we're doing. We're giving him all brown kind of design. I hate it so much. And does he follow that rule? Can we get rid of this? Did I? Wait. Yes. Okay, good. Does he follow that rule? I'm not entirely sure he does. You've got these two prominent browns, which I guess... Does he follow that rule? Do I have to... Then you've got this, and then you've got this. Huh. He's not terrible. He at least follows one principle. Great. I still have thoughts about him. Okay, so he's terrible in this outfit. I don't know what they did. Also, it's incredibly clean. It looks brand new. Why does it look brand new? It looks uncomfortable. Everything sucks about it. About him. Let's get back to him. This is even more messy than the one that I did last time. I'm incredibly sorry. He's just bland. He doesn't scream magician. He doesn't scream like king's... What's the word that I used earlier? Not adversary. Advisor? Yeah, advisor. Let's go with advisor. He doesn't scream king's advisor. He doesn't scream I'm multiple thousands of years old. I mean, that's hard to put into character design, but, you know, he doesn't scream anything. This is a staff, for anybody who forgot. What I would do in very, very ugly little drawings... Let's remember, this is supposed to be 11th century. Do I still have a picture of 11th century? No, I do not. That's sad. Anyways. Oof. Now it's not going away. Can you please go away? Oof, yes, this... Before we talk about what I would fix, let's get back to Arthur for a second, and this guy, because this guy is a random dude that, spoiler alert, dies really quickly. He's visually more interesting than Arthur, and Arthur is our second protagonist. Think about that. Because at least he has a hat. Arthur doesn't have a hat. Also, they are not visually, like, silhouette-wise, they don't really go together. Like, it's simple, but it's true. Even, like, his belt is not closed at the same length, width, whatever. In the 11th century, what men would wear is either something long like this or something shorter like that, with either bare legs and then ramps around the legs, or a sort of pantaloon that goes all the way down to the shoes. Now, I have no problem with people crafting their own ideas, even though they're technically staying or should be staying in the realm of what was possible around that time. What I have a problem with is if they do that and it's bland. So, technically, if we look at druids always are portrayed as wearing super flowy gowns that go like down to here with a belt and like a lot of fabric, so a lot of folds everywhere. This is so ugly. My apologies, but not really. Um, and Merlin has none of that. He has none of that. He's a bland little bitch. He's been in this thing. He's been traveling for a long time. I mean, he's basically on the road all the time, and he basically always wears this exact outfit. He has a different one, but he doesn't wear it, which is sad. I had it pulled up here. Um, this is his other outfit. This actually portrays that he's rich better than the one that he wears in the majority of the show, because it's actual fucking fabric and not some leather bullshit that nobody would ever wear. And it's embroidered. It's a little roughed up, but it's embroidered. It tells you way more than whatever this is. Because, like, this is fucking plain ugly. What I would do, if I were to design this, is ditch this, give him a collar that goes like that, so he can still show off his hairy little chest. Why ever anybody would see that, I don't really know. Keep the belt, but, like, put it here, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. Give him, like, a this long... I'm not sure. How long would I make it? I think I'd actually put a second layer underneath this first layer to just add volume to his design, and then do it like that. Have a belt here that can stay brown. It's purple now, but whatever. And have one thing that I think is really super important if you have a druid character. Give him what in German you would call Gebamsel, which means just shit that makes him look like a druid. He's thousands of years old. Give him like a Viking style kind of necklace. They had this thing that doesn't really close but has like the heads of animals or just bells here. Not bells, but balls here, made out of all kinds of metal. Give him an actual like long little amulet of sorts on a leather string. Give him a shorter one. Show that he has lived, that he has collected. This looks incredibly bulky, but whatever. He already has like 3 rings. He can have more than that. Why is he... I forgot. Give him stuff on his belt. Maybe it belts over this second layer that I added, because I thought it would look cool. Give him stuff on his belt. Maybe he has herbs. If you need to be spoiled because you haven't watched the show and you're still for some reason watching this, have him have herbs everywhere, because even though he lost his magic, nobody knows. He still pretends that he has it. So have him have herbs because he's a druid. Why doesn't he have herbs? At least pretend that he's a druid, you know? Have him have coins that fall down and kind of give him this like eerie little jingling sound whenever he moves. Have him have embroidery on his coat that reminds you of Celtic design, which none of this reminds you of Celtic design, but you know, just do something that makes his character look like it's been out in the world for a long time. And I mean, this isn't the prettiest drawing I've ever made, but already he looks visually more interesting because there's just stuff on him. The good thing about designing a character in a real life setting is that you get to actually add a bunch of stuff that you wouldn't if you were, for example, animating, because in animation, especially 2D animation, you have to keep things simple. Even though anime doesn't do that, you have to keep things simple so that it's easier to animate. In real life, you don't have to animate shit. It just doesn't, it's just not allowed to be heavier than what the person can carry. And since it's fantasy, you don't really have to think about the practicality because they don't have to travel for as long as they pretend to. So add embroidery, add a bunch of stuff that just makes him look like a druid, makes him look like somebody out of like our scope of imagination for a human being's lifespan. Have him have leg wraps that are tethered, or even his coat, because he's like on the road a lot, have it be patched up with like weavings of what's it called, grass, because he's a druid. He's like with nature, and people have done a lot of stuff out of grass. So why not he? Why not he? I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here. Give him more colors, because he's rich, and you can have him have like dulled colors to like show that he's old or something like that. But keep away from the goddamn what's it called again? I just knew it. I just talked about it. Keep away from. I'm almost there. Leather. Keep away from leather. Nobody likes leather. It's impractical. It's not nice to wear. It looks cool, but only if you use it correctly. Like, everybody shits on Vikings, but they use leather correctly. They use it in wild ways, but they do use it in fun ways. Like, let's look at some characters. Let's look at some characters here. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Here. Yes, one thing I also thought. This is Floki from the Vikings series. He's played by the same actor. Here, this stuff. He just kind of has it because he's a lunatic of sorts. Give that to him. Does it look similar? Yeah, it does. But it's cool. Anyway, we were here to talk about the character design. Here, he has a lot of fur because he lives in a cold area. But this guy here, it's leather. It's not historically accurate, but it's interesting. It gives him an interesting silhouette. There's more. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. There's not a lot of full body stuff of interesting characters. Oh yeah, here, this is interesting. You have a mixture. No. Yes, here. You have a mixture between this bland as shit that looks like. Ooh, he looks tired. Where was I? Oh yeah, he looks like Arthur, but there's a reason behind it. He's been gone for like 5 years at this point. He's old, he's tethered, he's basically turned his back on everybody. He looks that way. He looks bland, he looks flat. He never looked that way before. He has a mixture between leather here and just cloth, because he needs this because he can't walk, as you can see here. He kind of drags himself along the floor because it's like around 800, 900, 1000. They didn't really have mobility aids for people who couldn't walk back then. At least I'm guessing. I don't actually know. And he's wearing blue because he's the richest of them all. He's old enough to be going on raids alone, but he has one singular leather belt. Use leather, but only in moderation. There's more. I wanted to show more of the leather armor that they have. That is pretty interesting. I don't want to speak about Vikings Valhalla because I hate Vikings Valhalla. Here. Leather armor that is... Ooh, here. This is actually quite good. This is actually a quite good example of what they do that a lot of... like, that Cursed just doesn't do. Even though Cursed could, because it's in the realm of fantasy. This is not historically accurate. But you have leather that kind of looks like dragon scales and gives her an interesting silhouette. And it's hard leather. It's made to kind of resemble plate armor, but in this softer fabric. And it's interesting to look at. This is... oh, shit. This is not interesting to look at. It's not. It's just not. And if you pretend it is, then fuck you. No, just kidding. Yes. Was that all that I wanted to speak about? Did I manage to speak about everything I wanted to speak about? I think I did. Just give them more interesting designs, please, for the next season. Because he's a magician. People are scared of him. He doesn't have to be quiet. He can be cool. He can jingle while he walks, like a druid would. Would a druid jingle while he walks? Give your opinions in the comments below. I'm actually watching the stream on a second screen. I'm like the only one, which is fine. That's why I did this. Yes, I think I'm done. I think I'm done for now. What I mean to say, don't make your characters just one color, because that's boring. Especially if there's literally no contrast, because it's a character of color. That's just boring. Give your characters just a little bit of fun stuff. You don't have to make his coat yellow. That was just an example. Ah, yes, one thing I still wanted to talk about. Apparently, I'm not done. Is if you look at this in the background. Can I delete this? Oh shit! Wrong one. Delete this. There's probably an easier way to do it, but I forgot because I didn't want to use Photoshop for a long while. If you look at these characters in the background, they're all, you can see it here, they're all wearing fabrics. They're all wearing fabrics. They're wearing blue, which is weird because blue is really hard to dye, but their face or like whatever. He's wearing yellow, which is a very good choice because yellow is actually something you can dye naturally. His clothing looks more ragged than his clothing, even though we're supposed to like believe. I guess I don't really know what they're trying to do with him. That he is not really part of their world. So why would they give him such a good little gambeson tunic thing? Give him something like this. Give him something that makes him look like he's part of the other characters, but maybe he wears this one thing that I showed earlier. Here, maybe he wears this on top because he's not part of them. What the fuck did they even try to do there? Can I get closer? Yes, I can. I'm not entirely sure why they did this. I think I have a clue. I think they've tried to invoke the studded letter of fear, but that's not how it looks. Is it? I don't think so. Doesn't matter. And he wears that on top. Give me a blue. You know, he wears it on top. He maybe doesn't close it. Maybe he just wears it open. But he wears it on top, has it closed by the belt because he's not in battle right now. He doesn't need it to be closed. But just kind of give him something that makes him stand out from the others, but not in the way that he's just completely brown while everybody else has some sort of color, but that makes him look like he's a part of them, like he's not part of their world, because at this point he's a human in a Fey rebellion. In case I didn't mention that. Yeah, just make them look more cohesive, but if they stand out, then stand out for the right reasons. This was a ride. Thanks to anybody who didn't show up, because it would be embarrassing if you did. Hope you had a fun time if you did show up. And I'm going to stop this now because my voice